Guys, what's up? Brian Bott here from Sports Advantage with Lucas, CJ, and Lucas. And as you can see, I missed the memo on the gear wear today, so we're gonna try and make do. But in all seriousness, today we've talked before about the benefit of choosing a performance facility over just a regular gym, and now we're gonna break it down even farther about choosing the proper performance coach or trainer to work with your young athlete or to work with yourself. And so we have a couple different topics we want to cover today and just go over just our thoughts on the best way to pick your performance coach or trainer. And so I'm going to kind of kick it off with philosophy. You should always sit down with, the owner of the facility or the person you're going to work with and kind of get a feel for what their philosophy is on training. How they regulate warm-up, how they regulate movement prep, what they do in the weight room, what they do for assessments and things like that. And then also philosophically how they are going to interact with your young athlete. That's a really big thing that we see, and that's very big and important when you're choosing a trainer. The interaction, the relationship that you're going to have with your trainer is very important. So make sure that they have a sound philosophy, that it fits in with the goals and the aspirations of either you or your young athlete. And then also that they're going to be honest and that they're going to be a good person and they're going to push you, but also treat you very well as you're paying money to be with them. So you want to get pushed, but you also want to be treated very, very fairly and well as you go through the process. Okay? I'm going to turn it over to CJ here, and he's going to talk about passion.
All right, thanks, Brian. Another thing that you can look for when you're trying to choose a trainer for your child is a passion sense. Now, when you're looking at how a trainer approaches you when you first meet, you'll see that they kind of have a good amount of passion with trying to get you through the door. Now, that's just the first step. But also when they're carrying it over to working with your athlete, they have to have that same passion, that same emphasis going through trying to perform every different task. Now, working with your athletes, you can see that passion. Now, if they're going to go through with like, oh, they're just trying to get through the day and just trying to make money, their tone and their demeanor is just going to be kind of standard, monotone, nothing real flashy. But if there's a passion and there's a real pride that they have with what they're doing, they're going to really try to get involved, really take the time to teach every technique, just step by step, to make sure that everything is done exactly the way that you want. And that's always like the best thing, because that's going to give you the best results possible. So you always look for that passion. And one thing that I've learned from someone very great is that passion trumps everything. Always. Lucas?
So guys, I'm going to talk about knowledge. Okay, so knowledge is one of the most important things when picking your coach. You're not gonna call your local electrician to fix your plumbing problem. Okay, so when you're trying to pick a coach, you need to pick someone that's actually going to be able to help your athlete. When we have them do exercises, we're putting the bar on their back, we're having them pick up heavy weights, and that could really, really hurt them. But having the knowledge to be able to keep your child safe and to keep the athlete itself safe is the overall goal. And if your training coach doesn't have the knowledge to keep your athlete safe, why are you even picking them? Okay, then they're not going to perform well on the field because they're not going to be on the field, they're going to be on the bench. So overall, make sure that the coach you pick is knowledgeable in the field and you're not sending your kid or sending yourself to someone that could keep you hurt.
So the last thing I'm going to talk about is results, which is the whole reason why you're trying to pick a trainer to begin with. So a couple things that feed into results are everything that we've talked on: philosophy, passion, and knowledge. So when you sit down and you're talking with the trainer, one thing you should always ask them is not how much weight they've added to a 1RM, but how many athletes they've kept on the field and how many athletes they've kept healthy. The biggest thing that they can do for results is to not only make your athlete bigger, faster, and stronger, but to keep them safe as well and on the field, because at the end of the day, that's the goal that we're trying to achieve. So it's not always about how much stronger they've gotten, but it's also about keeping them healthy as well.
Awesome. Okay, just to recap here, guys. When we talk philosophy, there's so many different philosophical beliefs that are out there in the strength and conditioning profession. Some people believe strictly in Olympic lifting. Some people are strictly powerlifting. Some people are high intensity. Some people are kind of a conglomerate of each. So again, having a sound philosophy from the coach you pick is very important, and you do that by asking questions. Go about how do you train your athletes, how do you handle these situations. Ask your trainers tough questions, because at the end of the day, if you're going to write them a check, they should be able to answer those questions with no problem if they're confident in themselves. CJ touched on passion, and that's what coaching is. coaching kids is about being passionate for other people, not being passionate about, oh, so-and-so did this, you know, and we're gonna show them on our board and everything like that. And yes, there's a lot of things that we do at Sports Advantage because we're very proud of our athletes. So yes, we like to show when they have, you know, great results, if they win state championships, if they, you know, go to bowl games with some of our college football players, things like that. But we do it because we feel great for our young athletes that are achieving those goals, because we know what they go through in our gym to help achieve those goals. And we do it very passionately. We're on them every set, every rep, through the warm-up, you know, their pre-workout, even in their post-workout stretch that they're doing, making sure they're doing everything well, making sure that we have the energy, because that's going to create energy in them. And again, CJ touched on passion trumps everything. Is very important, because that's going to carry over, okay? And then the kids are going to come in and train with passion. And then it's just a great cycle of passion going through your gym. Lucas touched on knowledge as well. And it's very important to find someone that's very knowledgeable. But to me, and I think our staff shows this a lot, okay, or embodies it, is kind of the word I'm looking for, is how much knowledge are they gaining through the process. So, you know, a strength coach who's been in the business for 15 years, all right, are they staying right where they are, or are they still trying to get better, still trying to get more knowledge? I learn as much from these three every day, hopefully, as they learn from me. I mean, it's amazing, because the conversations, the sharing, hey, did you read this article? Hey, did you check this out? So if you have a trainer who is constantly, you know, sharing information, like we are right now, trying to share our information with you, then you can see that they're not afraid to share their knowledge as well, okay? So if you have a stagnant trainer who's not getting any better, all right, they're not going to be able to change with the tides and what's going on in the field. So knowledge, not only what you have, but what you're willing to gain, is very important. And Lucas touched on results, and results are everything, okay? And the most important result that we have when we gauge ourselves is, are our kids practicing every day? Are they playing every day? Okay, because time spent on the bench means someone else is getting your reps. All right, and you can't prevent every injury. There's no way you can. But your goal should be to try to. And that should be the first goal of every performance coach. All right, if you go to a gym and they're testing your athletes every 3 to 4 weeks, they're just trying to sell memberships at the end of the day. Okay, the evaluation process is very simple. For me, I've gotten to the point, and we have too, where we could probably tell you probably about 90 to 95% of our athletes within 5 to 10 pounds what their max is, what their vertical jump is, if they've increased in their speed, because we have the passion when we train them, and our philosophy is to watch them time and time again. So at the end of the day, we shouldn't have to test for results. We can see the improvements. We can see the gains they're making based on how they're training day to day. Okay, so the results are they having success, and are they healthy? And so those are the most important things. If people try and sell you on, we're going to test them in 3 weeks and we're going to increase your vertical jump 4 inches. Okay, that's great. My next question as a parent is, so every 3 weeks you're going to increase my kid's vertical jump 4 inches, where do I sign up? Okay, because there's different ways to sell and all this other bullshit that goes on, that the quick results aren't that important. Okay, we look at the results over 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 years of training, and again, that is what it's really about for young athletes. All right, so again, choosing your trainer, don't be afraid to ask tough questions. Ask the hard questions, all right, that maybe you don't want to hear as a parent. Okay, maybe you're going to ask a question and that's not going to be the right fit. You know what? Your friend down the streets fit for their child may not be the right fit for you, and that's okay. Sports Advantage may not be the right fit for you, and that's okay. We know what our philosophies are. We have a ton of passion. We're constantly trying to learn, and we're results driven for our athletes, and that's the most important thing in our minds as far as being trainers and then working with your kids. So check us out on Instagram, okay, at Sports Advantage. You can also sign up and get onto our YouTube page, be a subscriber, all right, and we'll catch you next time.